Alright, Travis Wing Goodsell, take 3. I'm going to split up the videos rather than doing one big one. This first one we'll do, and apparently YouTube allows me to upload multiple videos, even though they do them one at a time. So I'll do each of these videos and then upload them when I finish them. Herbert, he opened Utah. Certain select businesses at first, but more to come, and in certain places more to come. By his fruits we shall know him. So is this a good idea? Or is he just caving to Trump, or caving to Nelson, who held a special fast that the coronavirus would just magically disappear? And is Herbert purposely trying to say, hey, everything's fine because we held a fast, and the Mormon God is true, and the church is true, and Nelson is a true prophet? So what's the reality? About 2% have been tested in Utah. 3.206 million population for Utah, and only 76,460 have been tested. You can get that from the government website here of Utah, coronavirus, whatever, utah.gov. They post the daily numbers, and I've been keeping track of them, recording them, as well as taking a snapshot picture, screenshot of them as well. So 2% have been tested. And already he's wanting to open up the government after a fast by his religious leader? Yeah, I'm not buying it. And so 0.5% end up having the virus from testing, or it's actually 5. I'm not going to try math this morning. I'm having difficulty as it is. 3,445 out of the 76,460 have been tested positive for coronavirus. And then of those 3,445, 288 have been hospitalized. And of the 288, 34 have already died. And we continuously have an average of 10 who are hospitalized per day. And it takes a while before the people either recover or die. And so with more than 10% who are dying, we're likely to see an increase, because the 34, you can go back a week or two to whatever that number was, which, let's see, 22nd, 23rd, so let's say the 9th. Back on the 9th, we had 168 who were hospitalized. And so 34 of the 168 who had been hospitalized to that point, well, you actually have to minus the 13 who are already dead. So 21 of the 168. That's an approximation. We don't have exact numbers because they're not giving us the exact numbers of who died from when they went in. But from what reporting we do know, that's how long it takes. So, yeah, we're not stopping. We're not slowing down. And we're not testing. And yet Herbert is opening up the businesses again because he doesn't want this thing dragged out where we're all stuck at home and we don't get money because we're not working. Today, the new numbers for last week's unemployment come out today. Pay attention. We're at 22 million for the United States from last week just for the coronavirus. 28 million altogether unemployed with the previous numbers before coronavirus. 28 million nationwide. And so whatever number is added today, add that to 28 million, but most likely they'll be adding it to the 22 million total from last week. So understand that's the difference they'll be doing with you. So understand, Mormons, we're not out of this yet in Utah. The numbers do not indicate we're out of it. We're still, to this day, we added 149 people with coronavirus tested for yesterday's numbers. 150 more people still getting it, and that was a high, which has not happened since the 5th of April when we had 177. And so we're still getting new cases. And again, it takes a couple of weeks. So if they're testing at the end of the time period, who have they been interacting with? And who have they been infecting? And then go 2 weeks from there. And they're not getting tested because only 2% in Utah have been tested. We are not well in Zion. All is not well in Zion. And so what the hell is Herbert doing? What is he thinking? No state should be opening up businesses with such low percentage of testing. No state. We need testing. And the reason why Republican governors are the ones who are resisting the most is because they want to keep the extortion, slavery economic system that they call capitalism. It's not capitalism, guys. Don't be fooled. They've been fooling around with, oh, we're a democracy. We follow the Constitution. No, they're all lying and deceiving us. The Constitution says we're not supposed to have party government. What? Yeah. We're supposed to have a representational republic based upon a constitution. Ooh, deep. And you've never heard of that because nobody wants to practice it. Nobody wants to follow the Constitution. But that's another issue. So understand, as Mormons, we know about the law of consecration. It's still in the temple covenants. You and each of you solemnly covenant and promise before God, angels, and these witnesses that you will observe and keep the law of consecration as given in the Doctrine and Covenants, wherein trying to remember by memorization without having to look it up, you will consecrate all that you possess. I may have missed it. Consecrate all that you possess, all that you will possess, to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for the building up of the kingdom of God on the earth and for the establishment of Zion. I messed it up, but Mormons know that I'm close. The law of consecration is the economic system that was supposed to be used in the church. And the bishop's storehouses were to help in that process, as a storehouse system of economy was supposed to be utilized, where all Mormons labor for Zion, which means what you do, you give to Zion, and then Zion gives back to the people. So you can't do everything for yourself: food, clothing, shelter, communication, transportation. You need different people to do the different jobs, and so each person contributes to Zion, and then Zion gives back everything to one individual, to the individuals. That's how the system is supposed to work. And it's not communism, and it's not capitalism. It's a completely unique system that has never been implemented, though it's talked about and referred to. And we need that now. But the church closed the bishop's storehouses. You know, they had no problem sending us home, but it's lasting for more than a month now. And they're realizing, hey, people are going without paychecks. They need to buy food. Buy food. Because they want to maintain the economy that they had previous to coronavirus. And it can't happen anymore. Coronavirus is a national health threat. And so we need people to stay home, but we can't leave them without food and toilet paper. More so food, because that's necessary to live. And so by Herbert saying, well, you know, we're not testing you guys, we forced you to stay at home, and now we're going to send you back to work, as we haven't tested all of you, and therefore we're still showing people still have it. People are still going to be spreading it as they go back to work and go to the stores to pay for the services at these stores, and then spreading it again. There is no indication that we're going to stop for the summer. This is not the flu. And so I'm sorry, Mormons, they're trying to kill us. This is what I've been warning you about. They're purposely trying to murder us. So understand that. Don't let them fool you. Because they're a good old Mormon boy, he would never deceive us. He would never harm us. He gets inspiration from a God. Well, if he's getting inspiration from a God, we know him by his fruits, and it's not the true God. Because the true God says a whole bunch of stuff about what we're supposed to be doing during this time, such as healing the sick and taking care of the poor. And that's just not happening.